Okay guys, and this is the last video, the last problem. I believe the answer is J. You may want to double check. And then number 36, I know that's another typo here. And one more time, I didn't create this handout. So what I want you to do is just to remember what that means. A solution of a linear equation, it means when these two graphs intersect. So you have two options. You can either graph the two lines in a standard form and find where they cross, or you can use your line solve. So for this, I'm gonna go and do the line solve. So I'm gonna go Control I. I'm gonna add just a calculator, menu 3 and 2. I have two equations with those variables, and I have 2x minus 2y, and that equals to 21. And the next one is 5x plus y equals 12. And there is your answer. The first value is x, the second value is for y. Now in problem 38, we have that Monica bought 12 tickets. So my total of tickets are 12. And she paid how much money? $95. So she has different kinds. She bought adult tickets, and she also bought kids tickets. So I know in total there were 12. So you should know that A plus C has to be equal to 12, because we're talking about the amount of people. So you know A is bye-bye, you know at this time B is bye-bye, and I'm between these two. Now I check. The adult's tickets is $12. So I need to say, okay, and the child is 5. So my correct answer is letter C. 12A for adults and 5C. Okay. When we talk about the vertex, we know that we're talking about quadratic function because this is a parabola. So I'm just going to find, and one more time, I think there's a typo here again. Let's go here. I'm gonna graph it. And actually, I'm gonna start a new document. And I'm gonna have my equation. I have 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. And I want to analyze my graph. So I go menu, I go 6 for analyze, but I need to know that a maximum or a minimum. Well, it's gonna be a minimum because as a minimum point, and you put it before and then after. So my vertex is located at negative 0.75 and negative 6. So the answer is not there. Okay, we're almost at the end. The next problem that I want to look is what do that means? The solutions. Remember, if the lines intercept like this one, this is one solution. In this case, that's my point of intersection. And also remember the quadrants. Remember your teacher, Miss Garcia. This will be your quadrant 1, quadrant 2. This would be my quadrant 3, and this would be my quadrant 4. So this will be one solution. Now letter H has no solution because the lines will never intercept. And when you have one line on top of the other one, that is many solutions. So before we finish, I do want you to remember you are going to do your very, very best in this benchmark. I want you to remember also that if I give you something like this, okay, plus 7, and I ask you, for example, I want you to multiply the slope by 7 over 5. So I want you to multiply the slope by 7 over 5. And I also want you to check my y-intercept. I want you to decrease it by 2, and then let's assume that I ask you what happens. So just remember, this is your slope. So what are you going to do? You are going to graph this. So I want you to multiply the slope by 7 over 5. And I want you to decrease the y-intercept by 2. So how would you do that? Let's try it, okay? So you go to your calculator, okay, and I'm gonna put what? remember, I put my original equation. So I'm gonna put control division, and it's 2/3 of x plus 7. And that's my original equation. But then, what I want to do now, I don't want the original equation. What I want is to see what is the change. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press tab, okay? And I'm going to put my new equation, but I put the same number, like 2/3. But what am I doing to the slope? I said I want you to multiply it by 7/5. So I'm just going to put it there, times 7/5. And remember, this is the slope, so you keep the x. Now that y-intercept was 7, but I asked you to decrease it by 2. Now I see my new line, okay? So you need to remember, guys, you keep the original, and you do whatever change you need. You keep the original, and I keep whatever change. So let's try another problem. Y equals 3x plus 4, and I want you to change the slope by multiplying it by -5, and I want you to increase the y-intercept by 7. So what do? I show you. So you say, first thing that you do, you take your calculator and you graph the original. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my calculator and I'm going to graph my original function. Okay, so you say 3x plus 4. That's my original, and I ask you to make a transformation. So I'm gonna press tab. I put my slope, which is still 3, but I ask you to multiply by -5. So I keep it. Now my intercept was +4, but I ask you to increase it by 7. So that's my new line. Okay, so you need to make sure, guys, you always keep the original, and then you put whatever change they ask you. You keep your original and whatever change they ask you. So finally, remember, you're taking your benchmark. You are getting participation grade for taking the test. I only need 25 questions correct in order for you to get you 70. I know you're ready to do this. I know you can do it and make me proud. I cannot see you these days, but as soon as we come back from spring break, we're gonna see what are the things that you still need in order to pass your EOC. Remember, there's no excuses. Okay, so have a safe spring break and see you. I will post your grades as soon as you take it. We will post it in the computer, and just remember, you have some homework. I want you to do my index cards. You're gonna cut them, and in the front of the index card, you're gonna label, you're gonna put the name. In the back, you are going to put the definition. In the ones that have the stars, I want you to give me an example. Okay, like for example, axis of symmetry, where you draw a parabola and you label it. This is gonna count as a test grade. So if we look at our calendar, you're coming back on the 16th, and I'm going to collect it. You're gonna have until let's do the block day. You can do it all the way, guys, until the 20th of March. And now we will need my index cards. They have to be in a ring, and you know how to do this. You're going to memorize them, but I need to make sure you guys are working on that. I give you 1 week doing work. So from the 16th to the 20th, you need to work on that. So that way, in your spring break, if you don't want to work, it's okay with me, but my index cards have to be in my desk by then. You also have your Alex homework, so don't forget, we have a lot of things to learn. Okay, so be nice and behave.